Agut v'chra boisai. Live in Lincolnwood. Boys, if you want to come to the shir, you got to speak to Reb Shmulik. Those who don't know, it's in a private home, and it's by invitation only. Hayoim asar yomim shem shavua echad u'shloisha yomim boimer. We want people to come, but please be in touch with them because it's limited amount of people here. Again, hayoim asar yomim shem shavua echad u'shloisha yomim boimer loimer. I had a little bit of a problem this Sphira. I told you I started off on the left foot because I told people to do Sphira before Sphira started. Also, last night in Shul, I forgot we're in America and they daven before the Zman and they make an announcement. Please remember, say Kriya Shema. No, did I remember? I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to tell the Ariel. But it's not so gishmak over here. So that's why they're makbid, like not to daven before. They have early minyan. This is in Tom's River, Boisai. We're getting back to schedule here. And there's a brand new screen. Look at the size. Look at the screen, Boisai. It's unbelievable. Oh. And the dry good one for the flour, only had the dusha inside and outside. That's why the overflow is not kosher. I did. I forgot. Thank you. Okay, we're going to jump right in. Sfiras HaOmer is sponsored the Force Admor Mevisions Shlita K'foy Gdishas Mor Reb Yisrael Ben Leah Esther the Force Shlema. Tonight's pizza is sponsored by Shalom Rand, who wanted to bring the pizza, but he chapped that we don't do pizza in Shir. The Masech is sponsored by the Iranian Levy families, Perek Anonymous, with gratitude to Hashem. Daf Tzadi, Ephraim Levy, for good health, Arichas Yomim, and a Shidduch Hagun, the Koyer for Ephraim Ben Gittel Levy. Amen. Daf Tzadik Al, Michael Sage, in honor of Reb Gedalia Finkel. Mesechta sponsored by David Salomon, dedicated memory of Avi Mori Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zichron Levracha. The Mesechta sponsored by Joel Gedalis, Lilin Shus, my father Jack Gedalis. Anonymous Hatzloch Baruch Zevigashmi, the Palchik Family Foundation, Zechid Shmas Harav Agoy Reb Shlomo Palchik, the Meshach Tzi Ilui, and by Anonymous Refuah Shlema L'Moshe Ben Izah, Anonymous for complete Refuah Shlema and Arichas Yom to Leah Bas Esther, Yisrael Malki, Torah Torah Spicham Alfi Zav Chesev. We are so proud of Yaakov Mordechai. Keep steiging. Sending Gross and family, Canvey, Ireland, UK, in honor of Rebelli, who changed my meaning of life. Plenty Almoini, Yossi Mark and Benny, and all the Oiskim B'tzorchem DY, Jbochu Sham Scharam. Ari Simon is a monthly sponsor of the Force Shlema of Imari Baruch Ben Miriam. Weekly sponsors, Anonymous, in honor of Rebelli, Mark Ashkenazi, and the entire MDY crew, who did not slow down for a second, not during Chalamoy, especially back to back up on Erev Yontiv, just constant, non-stop, always pushing. This guy better have paid per word over here. This is what makes MDY special. This is why people love learning the daf. Hashtag MDY Beast. Shkoyach. Surely Wasrathil. Lilin was my father, David Berib Shoals, Zukron of Rocha, Achrin Shel Pesach. Anonymous Lilin Shmas, Shlomo B'Moshe, Sheldon Kirshner of Chicago. Sheldon Kirshner. Sounds very familiar. Oh, that's who it is. Okay. Dr. Mark Berkson, in honor of my son Yechiel Mechel, on the occasion of his 9th birthday. Michael and Cheryl Katz, for the yard side of Dov Ben Pinchas Ben Katz, Pinchas Ben Katz, my father. May his neshama have an aliyah. Vladislav Zakharov, for the merit of Refuah Shlema for myself. Yitzchok Ben Avram, Amen. Innovations LLC, a huge thank you to Rebelli and the whole MDY team with insane Herculean strength, barely sleeping and running on fumes, managed to make sure that all the Yom Tov Shiurim were completed beforehand so everyone can pre-game, watch it, not fall behind. Ashrecha, Yishkoyach, Mark, Yishkoyach Innovations LLC. Anyway, Art Month, Refuah Shlema Yehonatan Eitan Ben Beshev Bracha, Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, Refuah Yeled Daniel Zev Ben Ayel Esther. Question: does anybody know what a palgus is? A palgus. It's a word in Shas. Oh, for what? Yeah, very good. What, you learned today's daf already?
No, I didn't.
Back in the day, you did. Wow. No wonder you're Zoich to be the Messiah. Yeah, so we're going to learn about a palgus. Palgus, it's one of the things we're going to learn about, is a ram that is almost a ram, but it's not a sheep and it's not a ram. It's in the 13th month. A sheep is up to 12 months. A ram is the second year, and the palgas is in the 13th month. So we have it's an easier daf today, but a lot of limudim. Omar Mar, toida minayin, huh? Tzadik Aleph Omid Aleph, which is 90 daf into Mesachtes Menachos. It's Mesachtes Menachos. And we're holding 6-7 lines from the top. Toida minayin. You have it? Givaldik. Rabbi Yisai, what's Akaras HaToiv? Think about it for a second. What's Akaras HaToiv? Is it being polite? It should be Makar Toiv. If somebody did a Toiv to you. Somebody brought you to the daf. He's being Makar Toiv. So you have to be nice to him. You have to, what is it? So the Vilna Gaon talks about it also when it comes to Soina Matanas Yichya. But Rabbi Yerucham says it over here on the Inyan of Toida. He says that Akaras HaToiv is not being polite. It's when somebody does a favor to you, you owe him. You're meshubet to him like a slave is meshubet to a master. And the greater the favor, the more you meshubet. You have a shibud. Hear this? You have a shibud. That's why the Vilna Gaon says that you shouldn't take a present. You can't take a present from someone. Why? Because then you owe him, but you physically owe him. It's not like you owe him a theoretical thing. You owe him. Gave you a bottle of wine, now you're meshubet. That's it. I'm meshubet to all these people. Zabaya. Omar Mar. Toida minayin. So the Toida is Akaras HaToiv to the Rebbeinu Shalom, saying, thank you for saving me. How do you know? We're talking about Nesachim here. The whole sug is Nesachim. Now, in general, when the pasuk talks about Nesachim, it talks about the flour, the oil, and the wine. I'm going to try to point out where we're talking about only the wine. Toida minayin. Talmud loymar oy zevach. So this we had yesterday. I did this chart, if those remember. From this pasuk, we learn all sorts of things. The red is a miot, the green is a riboy, and from the words oy zevach, those two words. So from the oy, I learned toida. There's nesachim by toida. The zevach teaches us shlamim. So the Gemara says, "Atu toida lav zevachu." What? A toida is not. Why can't it be included in the word zevach? Why do I need a special word oy? Atu toida lav zevachu. Says the Gemara, itzrich. How many breads come with the toida? Our boys say 40. There's so many breads, so that's instead of the nesachim. Let's see if we can find the nazir here. This nazir, he also comes. He has 3 korbanos that he has to bring. Plus, he has to bring breads. Now, you still have to bring wine with the nazir. Says the Gemara, over there by the nazir, he's only holding 2 types: chalis and rikikim. But by the toida, we bring the chametz, bring chalis, rikikim, revucha. We have 4 types. Kamash Malon tells us with all the types of breads, you can't get away with it. You still have to bring nesachim. Says Gemara, why, if we go back over here to this pasuk, let's see if I have another one. Oh no, just did that from before. Okay. Why oila is a type of a nedava? So isn't it included in lefali neder? The second line from the top on the pasuk, lefali neder should oy ben nedava. It should include oila. Ilakaz rachman oila have amina vasisem ishal Hashem klal lefali neder oy ben nedava prat. So Yoshi did a gevaldik job here. He always does a great job. But in the klal prat to klal, because we're very worried that people will have trauma from klal prat to klal. Only because I had personal experience in yeshiva with it, right? Klal prat is a little scary in yeshiva. Not anymore, you mean? Once you did the daf. Anyways, check this out. Because if you look, you have to look closely though. Each one of these is like a character b'fnei atzmai. Let me see. Maybe it's too big. Hold on. Yeah, but you like controversy. Neder. Oh, I didn't even chap. I'm looking together with you. I didn't chap what he's doing. Do you guys chap what's going on with this neder? You don't chap. What? You chap. You live in Eretz Yisrael? Every shul has this Nedarim Plus machine. They probably have it in America also, but in Eretz Yisrael it's called Nedarim Plus. And you go and you could donate to the Beis Medrash. You could look up different tests and all sorts of stuff. Okay, Nedava. I'm not sure what this is. It's a woman with a whole apron. Bechar, he's number one. Meiser, he gets a red with a paintbrush. Every 10th animal. This guy's Givaldic. I love this guy. The Kittel guy for Pesach. For Pesach. Only in America, I think, they wear the black hat during the whole Seder. And Hasidim, of course. It's a whole thing. Here in America, it's unbelievable with the black hat. I don't want to say anything. But people drive with the black hat. And even if it hits the ceiling of the car, they're sitting there like this. They don't take it off. The whole chasana, they don't take it off. And they're much more relaxed. No, but how do they can't drive with it? Impossible. What? Did they buy vans for that? But they wear this triple-decker straddle the whole say. There's no shaila. Yeah, the whole and the chassan is also. Yeah, it's a big thing. So Osham, you see their shtickle into the Averis. That's controversial. This the Osham and the Chatas. Okay, so anyway, Klau. Now that we saw all the characters there, Va'asisem Ishal Hashem. Bring a carbon. All these are included. They have to do what? We're talking about Nesachim. Rabbi said the whole day today is all about Nesachim. All these guys, the Neder, the Dava, the Pesach, the Bchar, the Asham, they all need Nesachim. So that's a cloud. Lefali Neder ben Dava, Prat. So now we're going to go to the next one, Prat. Where is it? Oh, oops, I think I went too far. Lefali Neder, so it says before in the pasuk only in Neder Nedava. So knocks out all the other guys. It becomes a klal. Because if we stop over here, klal is a generalization, it includes everything. Prat, ein l'cho elamas shebeprat. If it's a klal and then a prat, then the Torah is telling you exactly what I want. But once the Torah adds another klal, it becomes a sandwich, then it's not everything, and it's not only the prat, it's something in between. Right? A klal means everything. A prat means only these two. But when you have a klal and then a prat and then a klal, so then you generalize, but it has to be similar to the prat. Prat. L'reach nichoyach. Boom. Who's the l'reach nichoyach? Slow moving today. Oh, so I add some stuff, but I just took off some stuff. So I added the b'char meiser and Pesach. Chozav v'kala. And the klal is, by the way, we're not doing a lot of klal prat to klal, so don't have any trauma. We're done. Klal uprat to klal, i'ato don elikeina prat. It's very similar to the prat. And what's the similarity? It doesn't come for a sin, so that would take off the chatos and the asham. But I'll include the b'chor meiser pesach she'ein bo malchet. Oh, so Talmud Loimar Oilo. So what do we have here? So I want to show you. I just redid the initial chart for a second. First of all, Oilo includes the Neder Nedava, and then what do we have? So Oilo takes everything out. Let's continue for a second. Hashdich sev Oilo. That the Oila takes out the B'char and the Meiser and the Pesach. So what does it yes include? If I took out the B'char, Meiser, Pesach, So what does it include? Ma pram mefoiro she'enu mechuyev va'omed. Afkol she'enu mechuyev va'omed. It's something that you're not mechuyev right now to do. Lahavi, and this comes to include vladis kachim, the offspring of kachim, utmurasan. So if you look over here, you did a whole zach here. Tmura means if you find a nicer, bigger animal and you say, I want this to be instead of the original, that's asur, but it becomes just like the original. And that also requires nesachim. The offspring over here, there's a little baby here. This little baby, Vlad Shlomim, the Vlad, also requires nesachim. Va'oila haba min ha-moisros. How do you do that? Let's see. I don't know. I don't see him here either. He's not in there. Okay. But the oila that comes, that's what we learned yesterday. We have extra, we had a machlokes, what extra, but you have extra funds in the Beis HaMikdash or extra wine that goes over the top. So you sell it, you buy an oila for the Ketz HaMizbeach. Va'asham shenitak l'riya, that's the famous one, but we'll show it anyways for vos nisht. So anytime a chatos must die, because let's say the owner died. Ooh, is this might be a different one. Maybe it's improved. Yeah, it's improved, different. Kevis land. So anytime the chatas must die, the asham goes to Kevis land. You try to get it a mum, and what happened? Why? It's true with like mamish, like you said, but why oila? Okay. Oh, you sell it, then you buy another with it. Okay. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, the pasuk tells us that all these things require nesachim besides a chatas and a asham. So let me just see. Okay, here. So it comes out like this, a little bit of a change than what we had before. The bottom line is, Vasisim Yisrael Hashem oila, we learn, not, the red means it's a miut, not a b'chor meiser. Oy comes to include, that's how we started the sugya. Oy comes to, zevach comes to exclude the mincha. Lefali neder nedava comes to, anything that comes from a kapara, like a chatos, and then the rest I just left in there, Shamil Chagigo, that's not from today's sugya, but the top changes slightly. Okay, that's like the maskonas sugya. So in other words, here, I'll show you this, just to remind you what it looked like when we started this year. It looked like this. The Gemara changes basically a few of the limudim based on the klal, pratu klal. Okay. Zog the Gemara, Vashdamris oy lidrasha. I'm learning oy. For drasha lefali neder oy benedava lamali lechalkam. So now we have to discuss every single time we have an oy. So let me just show you what I did here real quickly. I don't know if this is going to help or just here. There are four, the Gemara is just going to say there's four oys. There's oyla oy zevach, in the same pasuk, there's three. Oyla oy zevach, this pasuk that I just showed you, yeah? Here, look over here. This pasuk. You see it says three times, oy zevach, oy nedava, oy. So I just put them together, like this. And basically, it gives you the four options. If you have two different chiyuvim, but it's the same type of carbon, let's say it's an oyla, but there's a neder and a dava. So it's two different things that I learned from oy zevach. Oy, the oy, and that teaches us in nisachim in that case. What do I do? Lefali neder oy ben dava. When the carbon is different in both the type of carbon and the type of avera, or the type of thing. And then you have oy ben ma'adechem says it's the same chiyuv, but two different types of karbanas. Let's say it's an adava of a oyla and a shlamim. So it's the same, but different carbon, oyla shlamim. And finally, you have the same chiyuv and the same type of carbon, like an oila when it comes to neder ishlam. That's what I learned. So let's just see it inside. The four. What do I do with the four eyes? We can just leave it on the screen, Mark. Why do I need to split it up? Maybe I have to bring both a nether and a dava. So to remind the olam, why not? What's a nether? You remember what a nether is? What's a dava? How do you know?
Because I don't remember how you know, but I remember the reason, the difference in halacha.
But how do you remember it? Oh, you said beer. Who else remembers the beer? This kid is a starky kid. So we do zoo. Hare zoo, because a beer is a dove and it belongs in the zoo. Zoo. Okay, but you remember without. I wouldn't be able to remember without. Shmuel, you remember without? Dive zoo. Yeah, no, that's an older video. I usually don't show that one. Because it's not accurate, because when he does the dive, he doesn't like flip his whole entire body and dive. He just dives, whatever. Kamash Malon. Now what? You don't need both the nether and the nedava. So yesterday we had this whole thing with the vav. Remember with Trump? He said kebab, vav. Did anybody see that video? Saw it? Hey, Mamish holding, Mamish up to date on the videos. He's saying good. Yeah. So, Rabbi Yoshe holds that the vav connects them and says that if you have two things in the same pasuk, you have to do both of them. They're both together, let's say. So that's why it says oi. Oi separates. It says you don't need to do both. The vav achibur, the vav that connects them, in this case is not connected. Why? Because there's an oi in between. That's according to Rabbi Yoshia, that they get connected even without the word yachtov. Remember, we had this whole thing. You need yachtov, you don't need yachtov. By lisach shor v'chamor yachtov, so the Torah says it has to be together. By mikal lavimo, it doesn't say yachtov, so it doesn't need to be together. But the vav achibur puts it together. That's why straight of Hormuz, whatever. To me, it's good news. Lamaisa, I'm in a good mood because they walked away. So that means maybe we can finish off the job. Hopefully, I don't know. What do you guys say? You don't like it? I don't like it. Oh, there's reasons to it. You know the reason. I spoke to them. They said that during the ceasefire, they started opening up the thing. They put the missiles and they're watching them and they know where all the guys are going. And now, boom. That's what they told me. I don't know if it's true. We'll see. Why do I need this oy? What if I see neder unedava? What if you bring two korbanos together, Ariel and Ariel zu together? Maybe one nesachim should be good for both. No, you need to bring two. What I need let's say I bring two types of korbanos, a oila and a shlamim. One is a neder, one is a nedava. It doesn't matter. The shlamim is a neder, the oila is a nedava. What if both of them, the two types of korbanos, you have an oila and a shlamim, two different types of korbanos, but they're both beneder. They're both in nedava. They're both one neder, one nedava. But this is going to be maybe one nesachim for both is okay. The kitzer, we have four different possibilities, and that's why I need four different oyes. It's actually in the beginning of the pasuk. It's real. Maybe you need to bring two nesachim when you do one oila, one shlamim, but it's a neder. Or they're both in a dava. But what if it's not oil and shlam? It's two oilos, but they come for two different reasons. Two shloms, one is the nether, one is the dava. But at the end of the day, it's oila, oila is oila. I'm telling you, it's easy gemaras, right? You gave me a lot I know. He told me in shul that he was. What did you tell me? That you were learning with somebody else? Who was he? Dr. Shalom Aleichem, Dr. Lucius. So they're discussing the share. Remember, there was 3 stages in the oil, and three types of olives, and 3 stages in the oil. And he in a second he says, "What do you tell me? A 1 and a 3 and a 3 and a 1 is the same as 2-2." That means that you and other people that watched it, you got it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oils, different levels.
So 2-2. What's a 2-2? Remember what's a 2-2?
Second level.
Hold on. We'll turn this around to you. Yeah, the what?
The second level of the oil with the second with the press with the wooden log.
Whoa, he even knows the details. That's all different. Madrega, yeah. And so what's equal to a 2-2?
Green one, which is the third level, which is the bottom of the tree of the olives, and then the third press, which is and the first press, which is just with the motor.
Kids, you know better than me, so it's just a problem. Yeah. Okay. No, Givaldi. Wow. Impressive. And what else? And a 1-3. A 1-3 and a 3-1 is equal to 2-2. Okay, good. That's the difference. So we're going right there. Oh, I have a no. No? I said Shalom Rand is in the house. The other one is a chap. Shalom Rand is he's a superstar in New York. Over here in Chicago, he comes and they don't even look at him. All day. Yeah, Zakti Gemara. So, Eba Shem Shlomim Achasi, but Lamaisa, 2 shlomim and 2 oilers are 1. So maybe you should bring 1 Nesachim. Tizglim Nesachim Echad, Kamash Shalom. The Fali Nedo Shlomim, why does it say Oy Shlomim? Lamali Sagat Chamina Hanimi Leich the Maisi Shtei oilers. I would think that's when you bring 2 oilers. One is another, one is a dava, so they're very different. Or by Shlomim you did 2 different. Avaler the Kamaisi Shtei oilers. Beneder Shtei oilers ben a dava. I said this already. Oh, it's 1. Sorry, it's 1 nether or 1 nedava. But this is going to be in the second chad. 1 nesachim is enough. Kamash malon. Fine.
Neder Oilo, your nesech is ready.
Wait, you're Neder?
I'm Neder.
Me too.
But it says Neder Oila. Who here is Oila?
I'm Oila.
Me too.
Okay, so you're both Neder Ola? So this is your order.
Excuse me, no. Absolutely not. What's the problem? It's just 1 nesech. We do have the same name. But each of us needs a nesech in his own.
No problem. But next time, write your full name so there won't be confusion. What are your names?
Shlomo Zalman ben Gedalia Tzvi.
Me too.
Now, Rabbi Yossi said, if he says, Harei olai oila, 1 is enough. Why? He learns it from him, oila korbanai. But he doesn't learn the oy. Yosha hai min abakar oy min atzai. Now the Gemara focuses on the word oy. What does he do with oy? If he already learns it from oila korbanai, what does he do with oy? If there's 2 types of animals, mamish, literally 2 types of animals. How do you have 2 types of animals? A cow and a sheep, 2 types. You have 2 sheep. Maybe 1 nesachim is enough. Kamash malon. Great. Kacha tasu le'echad lamali. What do I do with the pasuk? Kacha tasu le'echad. So okay, they come different days. so they need different nesachim. They come at the same time. Maybe one nesachim is okay. We learned in the Mishnah, new sugi rabbi and new sugi. We did look at it. It's a giant Talmud, but it's all like limudim. It says in the Mishnah. I pointed it out. I don't have the whole list, but remember, we have a list of 10 different korbanos, kachim kalim and kachim, and it says that 5 of the korbanos need nesachim, 5 don't. From the korbanos that don't need nesachim, so you have on the right side on the kachim you have a chatos and a asham, but the chatos and the asham also have a situation where they do need nesachim when by the Mitzayra. The Chatas and the Asham of a Mitzayra. Let's see here. This is the Mitzayra, right? He brings 3 korbanos, Chatas Asham no Oila, and he also has to bring a mincha. Not immediately. How do you know that a Mitzayra has to bring a mincha? The Torah Rabbanan says by Mitzayra, Ushloisha Esroinim Soilas mincha. 3 Esroinim of flour. Oh, nobody answers this question. Let's see if this teenager knows. What's the difference between a mincha? This is very important. I don't know if you know this, because I don't know if we learned it. What's the difference between, maybe you have it in Megillah, I don't know. What's the difference between a mincha that you just bring by itself or a mincha that comes with a carbon? It's the same flour, the same oil. But one you bring on its own and one comes together with a carbon. You know the difference? What? No. By the way, nesachim could be this also. The flour and the oil is called nesachim also. Sometimes it's called wine. Sometimes it refers to the wine, sometimes not. It's a little confusing. When the Mishnah says nesachim, it actually means even the flour and the oil. Okay, it's a very simple thing. No, I'm saying they're identical in what they look like. Their ingredients are identical. There's one major difference. That when you bring a mincha on its own, so you put the kmitza on the mizbeach, the rest goes with the kohanim. Whereas the one that comes together, you knew this? The one that comes together with the carbon, it all goes on the mizbeach. So that's why I'm just pointing it out here because the Gemara says, it's the type that comes together with the carbon, so it all goes on the mizbeach. It's very different when it comes by itself. The kohen get to eat from it. That I'm already talking about the mincha that comes with the carbon. Oh, so here the word nesachim means wine. I don't know if it needs wine. It needs wine. And the Gemara says, and the word oila zu oilas mitzvah, zevach zu chatas mitzvah, oila zevach zu hasham mitzvah. So the kids we have in this pasuk 3 limudim to teach us these 3 karbanos. Ask the Gemara, 2 of them, the chatas and the asham. Why don't I learn those 2 from the zevach? Oh. So this, to understand this, is very simple, but we learned this a number of times when we're learning, especially, why I'm saying ooh, because I found the old one, I didn't tap. It's unbelievable. He takes to here. It's a good China. What, they take the whole beard off? The whole, from the shlomim water. And you put it underneath the shlamim. Wow. Puts his hand into the boiling water. Tnufa. Okay. Let's give Valdik. Erechab. Yiluch sar. Srefas sar. I got that. I found this. I just put it in Motzei Shabbos. This is, you see how technology, and this back then, you remember this? This was considered, wow, top of the line. Remind me your name. I'm very bad with names. Label, that's right. Leo Moskowitz. Travis Asar. Just the difference. Unbelievable. L'chayra. Just the head, I think. It's not all. That's by a Mitzayra, you shave everything. But by a Nazir, it's just I think it's just the head. Okay. So why am I showing you this? Because you're supposed to put the hair underneath the shlamim. And now, it says the Gemara, now we understand what it means here. Chatas va'asham enayim. What if you put the hair under the wrong pot? By the chatas or by the asham, they don't go together different times. Like one is when he finishes his nazirus, the other if he messed up in the middle. But the point is, what if you put it under the wrong pot? Oh, so Mela, the word zevach teaches us chatas and asham. So by us also, why do I need 3 different words? Yeah, he learned oi, oila, zevach, and the oi. 3 words. Why? I can learn from the word zevach a chatas and asham. That's only when they're equal. Asham and chatas come to do something different than by the mitzayra. The asham comes to allow him to go and drink wine, etc. The chatas comes to give him a forgiveness on the tzaras. What kind of forgiveness? For what aveiro? What do you get tzaras for? Huh? Right. That's true. I knew you were going to say it. But the 6 more things that it comes to give forgiveness. Gemara in Erechin says it comes for gaiva, it comes for ritzicha. What else? Shvashav, gilarayis, gezel, sarasai. Zog the Gemara. So therefore, bein and treikroy. That's why I need the oi zevach, the oila, and the oi to teach us, because the chadas and the asham are different. Zevach zu chadas mitzayra. That again, the chatas mitzayra needs wine. Beima zu chadas va'asham the nazir. Who told you zevach is referring to the chatas mitzayra? Maybe it's coming to talk about the chatas and the asham of the nazir. Lo yisokadaitach. Here, where's the nazir? Let's see if we have anything for nazir. Oh yeah, this guy. All in the beginning we had the nazir. Now what? Maybe it's one of the chatas and the asham of a nazir. You see over here it only says chatas because that's at the end. The asham is if he messes up. Okay. Lo mishaneh, the point is, how do you know this pasuk is talking about a mitzvah? Maybe it's talking about a nazir. Lo yisokadaitach. Can't be. The sanya. Umen chasim eskem. It says by nazir, umen chasim eskem. Ba'ilasoi ubishlama v'akasim medaber. We're talking about an oilan shlamim. Atoimer ba'ilasoi ubishlama v'einu yelo afilu chatos. That the chatos needs nesachim. Tam aloimer v'eso'ayel yas zevach shlamim v'chasim v'niskoi. Ayel b'klal hoya. The ayel was there and then beforehand in the psukim. Lama yatsa la'akish elov ma'ayel miyuchad ba beneder ubenedava. The 2-year-old ayel comes for willingly through another nadav. I've called. You only do nesachim when it comes beneder ubenedava. And mamela, I need the zevach for the mitzvah. Oila zu oilas mitzvah. Now what oila mitzvah needs wine. Be'ema zu oilas filatis. When a woman gives birth, she has to bring two karbanas. She brings a sheep for an oila and a bird for a chatas. If she's poor, then she brings 2 birds. Instead of the sheep for the oila, she brings a bird oila. But a regular woman brings a sheep and a chat. By the way, when the Beis Hamikdash comes, we're going to have to line up a bunch of sheep for our wives. No? When Mashiach comes and there's a Beis Hamikdash, our wives, based on how many children they had, are going to have to bring all these sheep. Sheep, a sheep and a bird. And we're going to have to take care of the Lashon Hara and different stuff. Yeah. Oh, sponsored. Turning the daf, Nissan, Adar Global Experts in Cross-Border Payments, the shidduch.com. Please read the shidduch today because every shidduch that happened was first read. Zog the Gemara, how do you know oila? Means they have to bring wine with the oila of a mitzvah. Maybe it's the oila of a woman who gave birth. Amar Abaya oilas yeledes misefer the kronafka. Yeah, I learned from the end of the pasuk the sign of it. Oimer lakeves zu oilas yeledes. Ha-echad ze achadas shel meiser shekar v'shlamim. Okay, so let me see. 42 minutes. We're doing great. Baruch Hashem. First of all, let's do this. Why not? When a person has a bunch of newborn animals, he has to give the 10th one as a meiser behemoth. Geschmack. And then when he gets all the way to number 10, what does he do? Rabbi, you remember? He gave him a red dot, and that becomes meiser. Okay, and now for the old technology thing. So every 10th one, he's supposed to say, he's supposed to take a red thing. But what happened was, on number 10, he said it's 9, and number 11, he said it's 10. And number 9, he said 10. But so you got all mixed up. So what do you do with number 11? They're all Kaddish. What do you do with number 11? Where are we? Oh. You bring the 11th as a shlamim. It's kaddish, but it's not a meiser, it's shlamim. And it requires nesachim. Why do I need a pasuk? It's a mistake. And the mistake is more chamor. You have to bring nesachim with it when the meiser does not require nesachim. Right? We already established in the beginning of this year, Bechor, Meiser, and Pesach do not need Nesachim. And now you're telling me number 11 needs Nesachim, which is more Chomer than what it came to replace. I'll tell you what's pshat, he says. You're asking me why? Who told you that the pasuk is talking about a Mitzayra, maybe it's talking about other stuff. But the pasuk has 3 ribuyim. What are the three words? Oila, Oi, and Zevach. What thing has 3 korbanos that need the 3 ribuyim? The only thing I can think of is a mitzayro. Oi is a davar shetzarach shlosh ribuyim. Oi is a mitzayro. La'il, we're continuing. Why do I need the word la'il? I already have it in Pinchas. Omer Rav Sheish l'Rabois Eloi shel Aroi. The ram that Aaron HaKohen brings on Yom Kippur. Every Kohen Gadol brings on Yom Kippur. As the Gemara, Eli Stefansky, you have to bring the Sachem every Yontif from the word of B'mayadechem. All korbanos that come on Yontif. So perhaps when it comes to the individual, he doesn't have to bring the Sachem. So the first thing that I had a problem with, Rabbi Yisai, and this should bother you as well, is just yesterday we learned that a Yachid does have to bring the Sachem on Yontif. I'll remind you that we were talking yesterday about what korbanos you have to bring on Yontif. There's Shalmi Chagiga and Shalmi Simcha and Oilas Riyah. And the Gemara already established that those you need to bring the Sachem. So why would the Gemara say over here, Avad the Yachid Lai, the korbanos that an individual brings on Yontif don't need? Of course they do. So they say the pshat is beautiful. Since so many Yidden come to the Beis HaMikdash that day to bring the Oilas Riyah, the Shalmi Chagiga, the Shalmi Simcha, so it's considered a carbon tzibur. You hear? Interesting pshat. Because the tzibur comes. Why is this any different than the oila of a woman who gives birth? Why would I say she has to, but he doesn't have to? I think, a woman gives birth it could be every day of the year. There's no specific time. But the Kohen Gadol who brings his carbon name Kippur, he doesn't have to bring Sachem. That's why I need a special pass. His carbon is I would think is different. No. What do I do to oy? The rabbi says a palgos. Oh, here we go. The palgos. What's the palgos? The palgos is a sheep that was that if it's in the first 12 months of its life, it's called a kevis. From the 12 months on, it's called the ayil. But month 13, I think it's its own thing. The Gemara is going to discuss: is it a bria b'fnei atzma even? I know I missed something here. Okay, I missed it. Yeah, there's a video that I didn't show. Okay. Says Gemara, I'm going to show this in a second. So we have is it its own category? Meaning, check this out. If a person makes a neder, I'm going to bring a keves or a ayil, he wouldn't be able to bring a palgas. It's its own little category, a 1 month category. This not. If you did bring a palgas as a carbon, maybe you have to pretend that it's an ayil. Here, I'll show you real quickly, just to remind the oilam. The ayil, all the way on the left, brings 2 sard of silas and 4 lug of shemen, versus a keves on the right only brings 1 and 3. He has double the amount of flour and 1 extra lug, the ayil. So what you do is you bring the most, you bring all the flour and the oil of the larger ram, and you make a condition. You make it night that if it's not a ram, we'll see in a second. But you have to bring another carbon. Maybe this guy, it doesn't work for you. You have to bring another carbon. Rabbi Yochanan explains, so I need the pasuk oy to teach us that the palgos, even though it's its own individual category, you bring the sachem with it. El bar pada the Omar, he argues on Rabbi Yochanan Omar Maisi Masni. He brings. Sorry. According to Rabbi Yochanan, I stuck in that he makes it tonight. That's according to Rabbi Pada. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's not tonight. It's a category by itself, and there's a pasuk that tells me that in the 13th month you bring the carbon. But according to Rabbi Pada, I don't know what it is. It's either a keves or ayil. There's not a category by itself. So what do? You bring your palgas and you make a condition, the sveiko, because it's only a suffix. And what's the condition? You say, if it's an ayil, so I'm giving the 2 isarin of flour for the ayil. If it's a keves and only needs 1, so I'm giving it 1, and the extra will just go as an adav on the mizbeach. But it's a suffix. It's a crawler ruis. You think the Torah is coming to tell us that if there's a suffix animal you bring, that's not how it works. So Gemara says the Barpadikash. You're right. According to Barpad, I have a problem. I don't know what to do with doi. Next sugya. More psukim. Rabbi say more psukim. Here, let's see Palgas for a second. Siruf of real and
I am not a keves. I am not a oihil.
I'm reminding you, he is not 13 years old. He is 13 months old. He finished his first year and started his second year. Got it?
Yamod Hapalgas Ben Oil Mazal tov But my nesachim just like Ayil.
Okay, got it, Shalom? Palgas is different. His nesachim are like Ariel. So this is a simple Gemara. There's a difference here. I showed it. I'll show it again. There's a difference between the nesachim of the ram all the way on the left and the nesachim of a sheep. It's how I think that also when it comes to bulls, there's a bull and there's a calf. The calf is a year old, and everything above a year, today also I think, this is how they do it, right? Shmulik, what's a calf? Do you know what year is a calf? Anything below a year is for sure a calf. 2 years old. Yeah. Right. Okay, but the Gemara does, and it says, listen, it's like a sheep. Once it's 13 months old, 13, 14 months old, it's already a par. So maybe it should have different type of nesachim. They have one, all bulls are in the same category. Oh, there's a difference between the nesachim of a year old and a 2 year old. So let's keep on making differences. When it turns 3 years old, maybe it has even more nesachim. Oh, so the Gemara, maybe also by the females, you should make enough community between a 1 year old and a 2 year old. No, you don't. It's only by the males. Oh, you know, in the Chad Gadya, we have an A's. So I think it's the Chassam Sofer. I forgot who asked the question. If the cat is really bad and it ate the goat, so that means the dog is good. Cat is bad, it ate the goat. The goat is good, cat's bad. So the one that punishes the cat is good. And the one that punishes the dog is bad. So you make the cheshbon all the way to Rebbeinu Shalom, it comes out not good. What? Right. But if you do that cheshbon, it comes out not good. It comes out the Rebbeinu Shalom, it doesn't work out. The cheshbon doesn't work. So they say, I forgot who says it, this is just for Hasidim. Calves. He says, yeah, but that's something else. Veal, I think veal is for 2 months. When cattle are under 11 months old, they're classified as calves. Okay. So they say because the goat has a beard and the cat has a mustache. So they're fighting, whatever, but the dog who's completely shaven, what chutzpah does he have to mix in? That's good. Yeah, but I can say the var because today I have a beard. Dr. Gemara. Maybe I should make a difference between a goat and a 2 year old and a 1 year old. They're all the same. Or a papa. Bodiklon Rava says Rav Papa, this is Givaldik. Rava tested us. So, you know, they asked the question over here, why does he say Bodiklon? He only asked Rav Papa, no? Unless, you know, he asked the whole shir, Rav Papa is saying over. This is like Benny always makes fun. He says, Matishtu, what are you, Blushing Rabbim, in Hebrew it's Blushing Rabbim, it's like, we, the famous Rosh Hashiva that he flagged down a car. He says, do you have room for us in the car? So he says, no, I'm sorry, I only have one seat. He zoomed off. Could you help? He fell to the ground. Can you pick me up? Can you pick us up? He says. Can you pick us up? Yeah, help each other out. Yeah. So it says over here, Badik Lon. I don't know if Rav Papa was saying B'lashon us, even though it was only him. Basically, Niske Rechela Bekama. How much wine do you bring when you bring a female sheep? That was his question. It was a test. How much wine do you bring with a female sheep? Says the Gemara, Upashit Nalei Mimasnisin. I brought a raya from the Mishnah. Wow, it says Gdi Mishamish Niskei Tzoyin Shogdoilim Shogtanim. So in the Beis Hamikdash, the way it worked is you went to a station and you paid for your wine and your flour, and they gave you a tzetel. And on the tzettel, it said one of a few different things. But if it said gdi on it, so it meant that you paid for the nesachim of all sheep, shel gdoilim, shel ktanim, older and smaller, the large and small, not older, large and small, shel scharim, shel nekevos, chutz mishalayim, does not include 2-year-old males. In other words, that answers Rava's question, that what? That the nesachim of a female sheep are identical to the male because you get the same tzettel whether it's a male or female. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Yishkoyach for coming.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.